Welcome into your sports tonight. I'm Bailey Burmaster, joined alongside Lee Smith. We have quite a show for you. We have a lot of Atlanta news going on today, Lee.
Yes, we do. A whole lot of baseball news, too.
A whole lot of baseball news. So let's start with the biggest news, or some of the biggest news as of right now for the day. The Braves are going to host the 2025 All-Star Game here at Truist Park. Very nice to get that back after in 2021 because of Georgia voting rights.
Yep.
They took that and went to Denver. Now they finally get their day.
Yep. And earlier, Rob Manfred, the MLB commissioner, said that Atlanta's got a long tradition of success and a great fan base. So he recognized that things might have changed since 2021, and so he decided to bring it back. And what a good time to be an Atlanta sports fan, right?
I mean, have you ever covered an All-Star?
I haven't, actually. I'm sure it's a lot of fun, but no, I haven't. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only covered an NBA All-Star weekend, and that was in Cleveland 2 years ago, and that was a fun time. Obviously, it's
so who won the home run derby?
That was NBA. That was not
NBA.
for MLB.
Oh, that All-Star. Oh, yeah.
But
yeah,
I'm just saying, in grand schemes of All-Star weekends or weeks, it's really quite the festivities. I'm curious how much this city will enjoy that once again, especially because even Rob mentioned that the Battery is such a good place and hub.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's awesome. I mean, you've got everything right there in one place. Food, alcohol, retail, good baseball is really, that's the crux of it all, though. The Braves are winning, and guess what? It looks like they're getting rewarded for it finally.
So
actually, for the second time, I should say.
So let's peer into the future a little bit.
Okay.
Who are you going to guess is an all-star for the Braves when it is here at home?
Okay. Well, I mean, I'm
not
gonna go. I'm not gonna go the center fielder route because everybody knows Ron Acuna Jr. is awesome. Mm-hmm. He would typically be my first, obviously. So I'll go with Max Fried.
Okay.
Max Fried. I still think Max Fried's going to be on the team.
Uh-huh. Well, and even if it's not, we can pretend like the roster they have now will be that team.
Yeah.
For fun's sake,
I think he'll still be here, and I think he'll still be, if not their ace, I think he'll be number 2.
I really like that.
I'll take that.
I really like that pick.
I'll take that.
I kind of want to lean into that because I like that, but I also think Matt
Riley.
Olson, Austin Riley are safe bets.
I don't know if Olson can do it again. Because he had a monster season this year. I don't know if you can do that twice. Honestly, I don't expect him to do that, but if the lineup stays the same, who knows? Sky's the limit.
Sky is the limit. Let's go to some other big news of the day that is concerning in college football. This Michigan Jim Harbaugh finally accepts a 3-game suspension. I'm looking at the ESPN article, so let's kind of look into the latest. They have Michigan and Jim Harbaugh have agreed to the Big Ten's 3-game suspension that the school announced on Thursday, which means Harbaugh will not coach Saturday at Maryland or the regular season finale against Ohio State, which I think that is massive because that's a big indication of what could happen in the college football playoff down the line.
Well, they didn't need him last weekend against Penn State, so there's that. Also, Penn State has literally no offense. I'm pretty sure that I could have played quarterback for him and gotten at least 2 points. 3 points.
There was also a lot that went into this because there were sources that they were going to meet in court, but according to the statement, the Big Ten agreed to close its investigation, which means there won't be a hearing Friday morning that was planned originally. It has been dismissed in court, so they're just going to take this, eat it, and move on, it kind of sounds like.
Take the L for the Wolverines. All right.
Take the L.
Take the L.
So,
hey, as long as they don't do it in 2 weeks, right, to Ohio State, right?
So here's my question.
I think that's the ultimate goal.
If this is a smaller program that isn't one of the top teams right now in the college football playoff,
no.
Is this how this pans out?
No.
And that's what I don't like about it. That is what I don't like about it.
So you think they're just playing, I guess, favorites?
Yes.
Or non-favorites?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they're getting special treatment that maybe a school that's maybe not as popular are playing as well.
No, I'm sure Jim Harbaugh himself has ticked off a lot of people just by being him. Well, Jim Harbaugh. But yeah, I mean, they had a great year last year. 2 years ago too, they lose to Georgia in the playoff 2 years ago, and then basically it all roads lead to 2 weeks when they got to play Ohio State. So,
Who do you have, Michigan or Ohio State?
I think Michigan wins it. I really do.
Over
They've won the
Ohio-
last two.
That to
They've
me,
won the last two.
That
I
to
mean,
me
what-
tells me Ohio State is due.
I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't know how good Kyle McCord is. I mean, everyone knows how good Marvin Harrison Jr. is, but I don't know about Kyle McCord. I don't know. I mean, Michigan hasn't played anybody, though. That's the thing.
No.
And
Should
Ohio
we
State,
pull up their schedule?
Ohio
You know
State
how I
hasn't
love to
played
look
a
at
whole
their
lot.
schedules.
Well, Ohio State hasn't played a whole lot either, but at least they've played Notre Dame.
Bro, their
and-
schedule is
and
garbage.
Penn State, so I don't.
So let me just read you these teams. Eastern Carolina,
Okay. No.
UNLV,
No.
Bowling Green,
No.
Rutgers,
Okay.
Nebraska,
Whatever.
Minnesota,
Eh.
Indiana, Michigan State, Purdue, Penn State, the only game that's even
Did
worthy of
Michigan
looking
State even have a coach, by the way, when they played?
at. Apparently not. It was 49-0. It was
think they
49-0. It doesn't look likely. But that is such a terrible schedule.
Yeah.
I mean, that's worse than the Big 12. I think the Big 12 has more competition than
Oh, for sure.
the Big 10.
For sure. But the thing is, everyone's gonna point to the very end of the year when they have to play Ohio State. That's it. They have one game a year. They have one game this year they have to win.
So
Which is, it kind of blows my mind that even both of them are even in contention.
we talked
Because,
yeah.
I mean, when you think about the whole playoff scenario, there's no way that both of them should even be considered if one of them loses.
No. I totally agree with you, which remind me of your Final Four. Who did you
Ooh,
go?
I
'cause
don't know. I don't know. There's
I'm
too
g-
much. There's too much football.
Okay,
There's too
well,
much
you get to
football.
decide. What would you like for it to be?
Well, I mean, what I like and what I want versus realities maybe a little different. So I'll go. What I would like Georgia and Alabama to both be in, but that's not going to happen.
No, that's not happening.
So I'll say.
So be realistic in your answer.
I'll say Oregon is going to beat Washington, and they're going to go in.
Okay.
I'll say Texas is going to be the odd team out. So I'll say Georgia, Oregon. I'll go Ohio State.
Florida State? No, you don't want to put them in?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you have to. I don't. They're a really good team, and they don't deserve to not be in. But at the same time, they haven't really played. Just like Michigan hasn't played anybody. I don't really think. I don't know. I think Florida State's been more impressive. So I'll say Florida State. So really that depends on basically the SEC championship. If Alabama wins, I think they're in. If Georgia wins, I think they're in. So whoever the SEC champion is, Pac-12 champion is going to be in regardless. I think Florida State, if they can remain undefeated. And then, I mean, Texas could sneak in at 4 if something crazy happens. I don't think, though. I think they'll be 5.
No way. They're
I think they'll be
9-1,
5 or
and they
6.
still have. We'll see if they end with one loss.
I don't know. There's too much football. We've got 2 more weeks. So
I would like to see Georgia,
3 weeks.
Ohio State, Florida State, Washington. I kind of want to see Washington in,
Okay.
just for funsies.
Well, I know the last time Washington was in it, they got curb stomped by Alabama. So I don't necessarily have to see Washington in it again.
Yeah.
I'd like to see if Oregon's legit. I don't know. It's just hard for me to put any Pac-12 team in there because of history shows us if they
Correct.
get in the top 4, they're not going to have a chance to win the playoff.
I think it's also safe to say everyone just wants good football games. I think
Yes,
everyone wants to
yes.
see a game that they saw with last year, Ohio
Georgia
State
and
and
Ohio
Georgia,
State, yeah.
or even years past at the Rose Bowl when Georgia played Oklahoma. That was a fantastic
I don't think you're going to
game.
get an Ohio State and Georgia again this year.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay. Well, I mean,
No.
we'll see. We'll see.
No.
Let's pivot to some other big news in MLB, and that the A's are leaving and going to Vegas. The owners have officially approved that move. A's lease with the Oakland Coliseum expires after the 2024 season, and Las Vegas Stadium is expected to be open in 2028. If you're an A's fan, how do you feel right now?
Oh, it's awful.
You're
awful.
devastated, right?
You definitely hate Las Vegas. I mean, come on. You have well, I guess they still have Golden State, so that's what they got, but that's it.
Oh
wait, no, that's San Francisco. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Let me throw that back. Just kidding. They don't even have that. So do they have any other professional team in Oakland? No. The Raiders are gone. So you really hate the city of Las Vegas if they took your football team and now your baseball team.
Well, and this is the crazy thing. They scheduled the vote despite not knowing where the A's will play for 3 seasons between 2025 and 2027.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And despite not knowing the design of the ballpark, and despite not knowing how Fisher plans to finance the $1 billion to $1.5 billion it will take to build the new stadium in Las Vegas. So they really were like,
we're
thanks,
just gonna
but
go.
no thanks. We're just going to leave.
We're just going to cut ties. We'll figure everything else out along the way.
And I think that's what makes
How do you do that with a professional sports franchise, though?
Well,
that's crazy to me.
I think that's why the Oakland fans maybe feel a little bit more slighted than anything else, is because you're making all these decisions without any real plan in action.
Right.
Which I always say when we're talking about, coaching changes and whatnot, you shouldn't go for a change if you don't have something better on the horizon.
I mean, is it that bad that you can't even have a plan in place?
I mean, and here's the thing. Do I think Las Vegas will probably be more successful than Probably. But let's get a plan in place to where the fans maybe don't feel slighted, because those are the ones that have been around for so long.
Yeah. I don't know. That's got to be tough.
Tough scene.
Yeah, well, good thing they're not,
I'm going to phone a friend here.
Oh, okay.
Ellie, I'm going to phone you.
Oh, okay.
Do we have an update on the NL MVP?
Still not.
So we're going to talk about this subject. We'll probably circle back by the time the show ends. At 6 o'clock, MLB Network was getting underway to announce AL MVPs and NL MVP. And Ronald Acuna Jr. is up after having a crazy season where he led and led the league in hits and
70-40 club, right?
Part of the 70-40.
First ever.
40-70 club. And, I mean, I feel like all season long it was discussed that he is the favorite for this.
Yeah.
How would you feel if he didn't win, Lee?
It would be
disrespectful.
The really hard part about that would be that it's going to be a Dodger that wins if he doesn't, and it probably could be it very well could be his ex-teammate Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
I don't know. That'd be weird.
Well, and Mookie Betts is also in there too.
So yeah, so maybe it stings a little bit less if it's Mookie Betts, but I don't know. How can you literally set an entire new division of records and not get the MVP?
I just don't
I don't see how
there's a realm where he doesn't win.
Yeah, I don't know.
Ellie, you said Shohei took home AL? Ellie?
Yeah, he did.
Which, rightfully so. I'm a big Shohei fan.
Yeah. I mean, when you can throw it that fast and you can strike everyone out, and then you can also get on deck and just drop bombs that all of a sudden change the game. He literally changed the game. I mean, because no one else can do what he does.
Well, and now...
So that. I mean, how is that not MVP level right there?
Well, and here's the other thing is... Okay, so we'll dive into this a little bit. The Angels got a new manager.
They did.
It is Ron Washington from
Atlanta
the Braves.
Fans should know him.
A big loss. Big loss for the Braves.
He also took Eric Young, first base coach. So
that's a big loss. And
yeah.
I think... A lot of players spoke extremely highly of Washington and what he's done and what he continues to do. But all of this is very interesting because does Shohei return to the Angels? Probably not.
I don't think so.
So let's look at the latest rumors because he's a free agent. I don't think he's coming back. I mean, why would he? I think he likes LA.
There's no way. Yeah, but come on, you only have so much of a career. You have to maximize when you can.
So the latest buzz.
Because I'm sure he loves being on the West Coast. I mean, he's closer to Japan too, so that's an easier flight than being on the East Coast and then having to go back home.
So I'm going to read some of these rumors that are on ESPN MLB, and you tell me what you think about them, Lee, okay?
Let's go.
The Cubs are eyeing second chance at Ohtani. They made a push for him in 2017 and were among the finalists for his service before falling short. This time, though, they might have a better shot. I'll be honest. I don't see a realm in which Ohtani goes to Chicago.
Okay, so who would their other big signings be?
Okay.
Who would have the money? I mean, who would from the Cubs then? Don't they have Bellinger?
Did Bellinger go there? Let's look.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
That is a
Between
lot of
those
money.
two, that's a lot of money. So, and Dansby Swanson. So
yeah,
I don't know.
forgot he just went. So
I mean,
but that's like that's
solid.
they're saying they're gonna try and go after him. So who knows how that works out? There's also, could Ohtani be interested in a short-term contract?
Like a season?
One number has consistently been linked to Shohei since he's been dominating as a two-way player, has continued to be brought up after he underwent a second elbow procedure. 500, as in 500 million, an unprecedented milestone for a North American professional athlete.
What? 500 million? Wait, how many years?
I'm reading as I'm talking to you.
okay.
That type of free agent contract,
I'm just getting
of
happy.
course.
I'm seeing dollar signs over here.
So
I'm just
would
like,
require
what?
a long-term commitment,
Okay.
obviously.
Yeah,
Think
yeah.
the Mike Trout deals and whatnot. But
Okay.
people familiar with Ohtani's thinking believe he might be open to a short-term deal with an exceedingly high average annual value, a circumstance that would be open up a host of suitors this offseason. The baseball record for annual value, by the way, is $43.3 million. And
That's the highest ever. Wow.
Justin Verlander with the Mets.
Oh.
Ohtani would blow that away on a shorter deal.
So last year.
So
Oh, man.
Ohtani could essentially do a shorter deal, just a lot more for an annual value.
Yeah. So just it's not long term.
I could see someone doing that. Like I do think Ohtani's worth the
Yeah,
money.
I mean that's a lot of money though. I mean, somebody can make it happen. Look, as long as it's not the Yankees, they don't need to just hoard picks. Okay, they always do that. They traditionally just throw the payroll up. The Steinbrenners have done it since
so
the
here
90s.
are the 10 teams that would probably be the most aggressive in pursuing Ohtani. Ready?
Don't be the Dodgers.
Mets, Yankees, Red Sox, Cubs, Angels, Dodgers, Giants, Rangers, Blue Jays, Mariners. Can you imagine Shohei Ohtani
On the
and
Dodgers.
on a Yankees team?
Or Yankees, yeah. Yeah. Although I think the Yankees have more problems than just one bat. But
Correct.
Yeah.
But
Dude, if he got to the Dodgers, could you imagine? Oh, here's Freddie Freeman hitting third. Mookie Betts leads off. And then you
I
got
think the
Shohei.
Dodgers could be a real scenario because
Yeah.
I think
Because he
Shohei
wouldn't have
likes
to move
LA.
his house. He's right there.
Yes,
He's in
he
LA.
likes LA because, I mean, you have to remember in Japan, he is like the celebrity.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't want to say he's not a celebrity here because I do think he's one of the faces of MLB. But in LA, it's a different lifestyle. Athletes are like C-B celebrities there.
I mean,
So he
Mike
can go
Trout's
live
been
his
the best
life.
baseball player for like a decade. And does anybody in LA know who the guy is?
Point.
I don't.
I think
No.
the teams I don't care to see him with are Cubs, Blue Jays, and Mariners.
Why not the Cubs?
I don't know. I just don't want. I just doesn't seem.
I don't want to see him in the Yankees uniform.
I kind of do want to see him in a Yankees uniform. That's because I like chaos.
You like villain stories, don't
I
you?
do.
You
I
do.
can't help it. Oh my God! Speaking of villain stories, we have to talk about Draymond Green for a second.
Okay.
Can
All
we
right.
talk about this? Did
Yeah.
you see what went down in this game?
No, I haven't. I've heard.
You haven't? You didn't see him put Rudy Gobert in a headlock?
I haven't seen the video. But I
Oh
heard it was
man,
bad.
I wish I could run that
No.
video on here right now. I mean, someone was okay. This was on TikTok, and I thought this was really funny. But
Of
we're
course
gonna
it was
bring it
on
up.
TikTok.
Some former college basketball guy was talking about how out of line Draymond Green was because he really is a villain. He is overly aggressive.
Yeah.
I think we know that. Do you hate Draymond Green? I don't actually hate him like most people do.
Hate would be a strong word.
I like that he's
I
petty.
don't
I
his-
like petty players.
I don't know. I mean, he's kind of the enforcer for the
Correct.
Golden State Warriors. Like it is what it is.
Someone's got to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
Was
That's
this
fine.
one a little extra? Maybe. I mean, he full blown put Rudy Gobert in a headlock, was dragging him to a standpoint. And hey, Scott, stand by. We want to bring you on here for a second. We're going to finish this and then we'll get to it. But Rudy Gobert was completely put in a headlock, dragged him, and now he was one of 3 players ejected, and he is suspended for 5 games, and that is also including just for his past behavior.
So 5 games for a headlock.
Yes, but
is it like egregious? Is it like
the statement basically said this is going on his past behaviors?
Oh,
so,
dude, well, yeah.
Which I guess is fair. Like it's fair.
He's punched a couple of guys. Yeah.
One of his own teammates in a practice one time.
Below the belt. Yeah. He's punched a couple of guys below the belt. And he just says, "Oh, I'm just being aggressive." Like, I don't know. Or you just like.
So he's going to lose a lot of money, but I guess when you're making a lot of money, that's all subjective.
Oh, 5 games is nothing.
Also, the Hawks had a tough loss last night. I know. We're going to come to you. Don't you worry.
In a second.
We're going to bring Scott in. But want to get to this Hawks sound. They lost to Jalen Brunson and the Knicks 116-114. The Hawks had a fourth quarter surge really coming back, but defensively couldn't get it going there in the fourth. And Trey had a crucial free throw miss down the stretch. They had 6 missed free throws. Let's tune in to hear what they had to say following the game, at least Trae Young.
You feel that you all got the shots that you wanted?
Yeah, the last 2 possessions, DJ getting the layup, trying to score quick. If we didn't have the shot, we were going to try to look for a 3, but he scored quick, had a lot of time left. I think there was still 17 seconds left, and then we almost got an 8-second violation. They got it over with 1 second left, and we fouled him. And that's tough. And then we still had a chance to get a 3 up. We knew they were going to try to foul right away. And when Bogey caught it, we just told him to catch and shoot it, not to worry about dribbling or doing anything. So they stayed attached, and Bogey got to look at the rim. And anytime you can do that, we'll live with the result. So.
Trey, stepping away from basketball a minute, just congratulations on fatherhood again as a veteran. How you feeling? How's the family? Just tell us about it.
Yeah, I'm feeling good. I would have felt a lot better if we won, but feel great, feel blessed. My baby's healthy, and about to go back to the hospital, check on him, and everybody's healthy, good. So I just want to keep it going.
That was also Trae Young talking about the birth of his new baby girl. They have a family of 4 now, so congratulations to him. That's why he missed the game, but he was back last night.
I think you probably missed the most impactful soundbite in there, and he basically just said, "It was my fault. I missed the free throw," and it gave them momentum, except for he used more colorful words. But
that we're not going to say.
Which I can't say.
But he took the blame for it.
He did.
But I think that's the leadership they're also looking for from Trae Young.
Which is honestly something we haven't really seen a whole lot like that. Like, he hasn't usually come out and just said point blank, like, "I did it. It was me."
So we'll see if that continues throughout the season. I think that's going to be a pivotal point to watch as well. We'd love to wrap up this show with what is on your mind. For me tonight, what's on my mind, Lee, I'm kicking you out. And
Fantastic.
I'm going to bring up our sports producer, Scott Pennyman, because I got a bone to pick with you, and you know I love to circle back on things.
I know. I knew this was coming.
Beautiful. Okay, so then you know what's coming.
I do.
A few shows ago, Scott went on a rant with me about the Browns being a Super Bowl contending team. And I did giggle at you.
You did.
I'm sorry. I wasn't trying to be mean.
I was really down about that too, man.
Well, and you said that the defense is better, which they are. They are a Super Bowl caliber defense. They are up there. I will give that to you. Mm-hmm. You said Deshaun Watson continues to need to play well, and the Browns fans are just going through it for yet another season. He is out, and I'm not even going to rub it in. I just want your raw reaction to when you heard the news that Deshaun Watson was done.
My reaction to Deshaun Watson being done for the season was, yup, that's the most Cleveland thing that could possibly happen. That was my reaction. Okay, being a Clevelander my whole life and watching the Browns my entire life. When I was a little kid, I watched the drive and the fumble and this team move, and then 4 years later go to Baltimore and win a Super Bowl. And I finally thought we were right here. I said, look, we finally found our quarterback. He had just orchestrated probably the biggest win the Browns had in the last 2 years. Everything was good. I was feeling very positive about the momentum that we had going into the Steelers game, 6-3, another divisional game. And then we got kicked in the stomach.
And I don't want to downplay. You guys were able to get that win against the Ravens. That was a great game. I'm sure you really enjoyed it. But now I need to know, do you still believe they are a Super Bowl contending team with P.J. Walker or Dorian Robinson-Thompson? I always get those Thompson-Robinson. I think it's Thompson-Robinson. DTR. Yeah, there we go. DTR. Are they taking you to the promised land?
Of course not. I mean, let's be realistic. Of course, everything that I said was basically hinging upon Deshaun Watson being there and him being healthy. Then they could be a Super Bowl team. Of course not. I mean, with all due respect for P.J. Walker and his family and everybody who loves him and loves watching him play, of course they're not a Super Bowl contender if P.J. Walker is playing quarterback. And certainly not if Dorian Thompson-Robinson is playing quarterback. Absolutely not. The hope now is that maybe they can get into the playoffs. They probably won't win a playoff game, but maybe salvage the season by just being a playoff team and just wait till next year because that's what we do.
So here's my thing.
Yeah.
You just paid Deshaun Watson $230 million.
Thank God I didn't. The Haslams did.
The Haslams did. It's going to be one of the worst. It doesn't matter at this point. It's going to be one of the worst contracts that's in the history of sports.
Could be.
Because at this point, he comes in, you have him, he's suspended for more than half the season, and everyone's going, okay, well, next season.
Right.
Well, now it's next season. You lose Nick Chubb. And then after that, he's out for the season because he has to have surgery. And you're going next season.
Yeah, well, look,
he's never – listen,
look.
First of all, I don't believe Deshaun Watson will win Cleveland a Super Bowl during his time as quarterback. I don't believe it.
Well, we'll see.
I'm being a negative Nancy, but I'm going to say that.
We'll see.
On top of that, so far, he has not even lived up to half of what his contract is worth. I would say he hasn't even lived up to a fourth of what his contract is actually worth.
I see why you may say that, Bailey.
And I'm not a fan, so I will ask you, where do you as a fan stand on his contract in less than a minute?
So basically for me, look, the contract is the cost of doing business, right? I mean, of course it was outrageous. It was a lot of money. It was a tremendous, but that's what you have to do in places like Cleveland, right? Because you're not a destination city. People aren't flocking to come to Cleveland. You have to overpay to get the sort of guys that you want. So it is what it is, right? So just from a pure money standpoint, I guess you would say no, they haven't got Jimmy and D. Haslam haven't gotten their money's worth because Deshaun Watson has probably spent more time on the sideline watching the Browns the same way we do than he has been on the field playing for the Browns. So from a pure money standpoint, no, you probably would say he hasn't been worth it. But there are still 3 more years left on the contract, so we'll see what happens in these next 3 years. But you know, at some point, you keep saying next year, and you run out of years.
If you come next season. If he's healthy, he's back, he's playing, he gets hurt again and is out significant time. I'm not going to say he's out for the season, but he misses 6 to 8 games.
Yeah.
At what point are you going, all right, what are you supposed to do? Are you riding with him?
I think you have no choice, right? I mean, because he's guaranteed every drop of that $230 million contract. So I don't think you have any choice. I think you have to ride this out until the very last day he's a Cleveland Brown because you don't have any other options.
Okay, well, we will see what happens. I do think their season is over, and I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, so
they might.
Prayers and blessings to you, Scott. We do want to end the show with another What's on Your Mind. I'll just say it here. It is finally into the newsroom. Ronald Acuna Jr. is your NL MVP. He takes home the hardware over Mookie Betts and Freddie Freeman. Yeah, wow, we have some sound effects today. Bringing some hardware home to Atlanta. He was the favorite during the season. That is no different this time around. First player to 40-70, led the division and led in the league in a lot. And he's just 25. He was a huge part of the Braves having that MLB best 104 games. So there's only so much to go up and up. And I think Chipper Jones even said recently, like, he hasn't even hit his ceiling yet.
Hey, almost makes you forget how bad they flopped in the first round again, right?
Well, let's not talk about it. We don't need to go back to that.
No,
we'll wrap up on that positive note of Ronald Acuna Jr. taking home the NL MVP. For your sports tonight, I'm Bailey Burmaster. For Lee Smith, who joined me earlier, and for Scott coming on to join in to talk about the state of the Browns. Make sure to keep tuning in with us throughout the week. We'll have more coming up on your Friday edition of Sports Tonight.